and good morning. There's been, with committee, we've had some correspondence with the PHSO over this, expressing serious concerns it has with the department about DWP's delay in implementing the action plan following the state pension age investigation, and the overall lack of communication of DWP with the Ombudsman. This is very concerning, since the whole point of the investigation was partly to correct previous failures of communication. So how do you explain this clear, very strong dissatisfaction on the part of the PHSO?
The PHSO copied me in on the letter. I was surprised to see it, to be honest. Let me talk to you about the work that we've been doing with PHSO, and in particular on the action plan and the seriousness with which we're taking it. So obviously back on the 17th of December 2024, the then Secretary of State made her decision on the WASPI case. Included in that was a commitment to work with the Ombudsman on an action plan. So as soon as we could get together, I met with the interim Ombudsman, the predecessor, Paula Sussex's predecessor, on the 16th of January 2025. So as soon as we could get together, we worked out how we were going to work together in developing the action plan. It took a while to mobilise, I think, on their side as much as ours, but we then had 2 workshops in April and in June, and we agreed what we were going to do as a result of those action plans. One was on complaints and one was on communications. In the light of that, we then developed an action plan within the department, working across all the relevant teams to develop a plan based on what came out of the workshops that were done with the Ombudsman. That was then completed with a working draft at the end of the summer, which we then had to impact across the department, because we had to make sure it was deliverable. Lots of teams would have been affected. And we had a working draft at the point when the Secretary of State, on the 11th of November, then made his statement to the House saying he was going to retake the decision on WASPI. Now, I mean, this is a serious government exercise, this retaking of the decision. It does mean that we can't work on the implementation of the previous decision, and the action plan was part of that. I met with the Ombudsman before Christmas, and I explained where we were with the action plan. She said she wanted to know that we'd been making progress, so I showed her the draft action plan. To be honest, I thought that she was reassured. I thought if she was not reassured, she'd have let me know, but she wrote you a letter instead. While the work on the action plan is where I've described it, I mean, the other thing I really want to get across to the committee is the work that we're actually doing in terms of action on the front of making sure that we've got our communications right. So, you know, already we've got a whole series of campaigns underway. We've got a campaign underway at the moment called Check Your State Pension Age. We're going to evaluate that in April. That builds on previous campaigns, one about Get to Know Your State Pension, and one called Will the retirement you get be the retirement you want? We've got online tools such as Check Your State Pension Age and Check Your State Pension Forecast. That enables anyone to go on to the system and see about what their national insurance contribution records look like. It enables them to see what their forecast would be, what their state pension age would be. We've got the pension. Well, let me finish. There is a whole series of things. There's so much. Mr. Milne, there is so much that we're doing on this front. We've got the pension dashboard programme, which I'm sure you'll talk about in due course.
Yes. No, I appreciate that. It's a big department. There's lots of things going on, but with this specific action plan, it's been more than a year since it was first announced. So it is a very long time. And what is it exactly? Why was it needed to be paused at all as a result of the legal action brought by WASPI? Why would it affect the plan at all?
There's a formal, serious exercise going on here, Mr. Milne, which is retaking a really important decision by government. And the decision that was being retaken, the action plan itself, flows from a previous decision that's now being retaken. So there's a formal government process here underway. That means I've got to stop work on the implementation of the previous decision. That's the formal position that we're under.
Do you believe that it would lead to a different action plan from the one you would have had otherwise?
I obviously can't comment on the Secretary of State's decision. I'm sure the decision will come before too long. So let's see. But the Ombudsman knows where we got to with the action plan. She saw it in draft. It was based on a series of interactions that we had with her people. And also, we all, as I say, we are taking action to make sure that people are aware of their state pension age and their state pension situation, with the long list of measures that I described to you earlier, Mr. Milne.
Okay, and then lastly, so do you have a prospective date when we might actually see the finished plan?
Let's wait and see what the decision is from the Secretary of State. Because the action plan with a capital A and a capital P, was something that flowed from a previous decision that's being retaken. There's a formal position here that I'm just trying to get across to you. But I also want to reassure you that there is a working draft of the action plan that was developed before the Secretary of State made his decision, and there is action underway in the here and now with a long list of things that I talked about before.
Well, we do hope that the Ombudsman can give us more favourable accounts of proceedings in the future, but thank you.